I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial here. I don't blame the officer. I don't care how afraid you are. If an officer tells you to stop and gives you clear instructions on what to do, and you flee in a car and you almost run over an officer, I'm sorry. I'm not saying you deserve to be executed. I can't blame them because, like, why are you not complying? So let's start off with this story here, guys. Minnesota governor authorizes National Guard as protests erupt after fatal ICE shooting. This is in Minnesota. What you need to know. The National Guard, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has authorized the state's National Guard to help support local law enforcement amid deepening tensions in the Minneapolis area, where an ICE agent fatally shot a woman yesterday. So I guess they're deploying the National Guard. Is it that bad? Are the protests going that crazy? I'm going to wait for the Nick Shirley video because you know that Nick Shirley's probably on a flight there right now. You know that Nick Shirley's going to drop the video tomorrow, chat. And it's going to be a banger. So I'm going to wait for Nick Shirley unless I see the video already out or I see some other person covering it. On the ground now, protesters have been rallying in the Twin Cities throughout the day, with crowds expected to grow this evening. CNN teams have seen occasional clashes with law enforcement, including a recent flare-up outside of a federal building. The investigation. Walz is calling on federal authorities to work with Minnesota officials on an investigation into the shooting after a state agency said it was denied access to key materials and forced to withdraw from the probe. Damn, bro, the federal government moving like that? Yo, the Trump administration they be wiling, chat. Yo, the Trump administration, chat, they be wiling, bro. Like, they moving like that? They really moving like that? Differing accounts. State and local officials have disputed claims that the shooting was done in self-defense. Multiple videos of the incident reviewed by CNN show nuance, and exactly what took place before shooting remains unclear. Damn. ICE agent who shot Renee Good has 10 years of experience and is on special response team, DHS says. The Department of Homeland Security is not naming the ICE agent who fatally shot Renee Good in Minneapolis yesterday, but did provide a little more background on the agent's experience. So it's a 10-year veteran agent, bro. 10-year veteran agent on the special response team. So he wasn't a rookie. This wasn't a rookie. He says, get that hat off my face, gang. The agent has over 10 years of experience as an ICE deportation officer and is on the agency's special response team, which requires 30 hours of tryouts to be considered. Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement. She did not say how long the agent had been on special response team. To qualify for the team, agents are required to participate in a basic operator course, maintain expert marksman qualifications on an issued firearm, and have ongoing training in specialized skills like breaching techniques, perimeter control, advanced firearm training, hostage rescue, and more. Damn, bro. He says reviewing what happened to the ICE agent. So, I mean, according to this guy wasn't a nobody. He wasn't a fucking rookie. He says, why was the lady involved to begin with? I heard, and I haven't really dug deep into this yet. That's why we're reading the article. I heard that she wasn't even an illegal. She was a normal American citizen is what I heard. So was she part of the Karen Brigade? Maybe she was part of the Karen Brigade. Reviewing what happened in the ICE shooting of a woman in Minnesota. CNN obtained multiple angles of the fatal shooting of a woman by ICE agents in Minnesota yesterday. The video below walks through them, showing nuance in what happened. What took place prior to the shooting remains unclear. Why are the videos always starting at the moment of the fucking shooting?
A 37-year-old woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis on Wednesday. Here's how it unfolded. CNN reviewed video of 3 angles of the shooting. The woman first can be seen in her car waving her hand out the window as 2 federal officers in a truck pull up. They then begin to approach the woman on the driver's side, telling her to get out of the car. At the same time this interaction is unfolding, a third officer, who would soon shoot the driver, can be seen walking from the opposite side of the vehicle. That officer draws his pistol.
Okay, that, I don't know, chat.
And then begins to move forward. He then fires multiple shots. Another angle seems to show the car making contact with the officer before he fired his gun. The car then accelerates and crashes into a nearby parked car. After the
I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial here. I don't blame the officer. She was driving away from them. I don't care how afraid you are, how shook up you are, chat, how worried you are. If an officer tells you to stop and gives you clear instructions on what to do, and you flee in a car and you almost run over an officer, I'm sorry. I'm not saying you deserve to be executed, but at the same time, like, I can't blame them because, like, why are you not complying? Just comply. I don't understand why so many people are so stubborn. They get told by somebody who has a literal firearm in their face to do something, and instead of them just listening and complying, they panic and they do something stupid. He says, from what I've heard, they were there for someone and Karen blocked them to stop them. Well, I mean, Karen's fucking get the Darwin Award, bro. I'm sorry. He says, I heard them say for them to get the fuck out of their neighborhood. I just think that, and I've always thought this, that when the cops tell me to do something, I do it, whether I'm right or wrong. He says that lady, by the way, was extreme lefty, with her account having queer pronouns, threats against some right-wing influencers. She was raising her kids as gender neutral after her husband's death and married to some woman. If they're telling you to stop driving and you're going to drive away, then whatever happens to you is deserved. I'm sorry.
shooting, neighbors asked to administer aid, shouting at the federal agents.
Administer aid? They blew her face off.
How can I relax? You just killed my neighbor!
The bitch said, how can I relax? You just killed my fucking neighbor. Crowd starts to gather at shooting site ahead of protests. Oh my God, bro. So now there's going to be a giant protest. Minnesota advises on how to protest safely by state public safety agency. Oh my goodness, bro. So this is just gonna be another chaotic situation. I'm sure we'll find some video about it in a moment, but I mean, I'm not saying it's not unfortunate that she passed away. Nobody deserves to be murdered, but when you put yourself into a weird situation like that, I can't protect you. I'm sorry. When you put yourself in that kind of situation where you're confrontational with a law enforcement agent, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure, right? There's nobody there to protect you. They're telling you to stop. They're giving you clear instructions, and you decide to go crazy on them. You decide to rebel. This you know where this comes from? This comes from people who don't understand authority, right? I've always said it. If somebody with authority tells you something and they have the ability to take your life away, you listen. Because whether they're wrong or right, if they kill you right then and there, you're dead. You're dead.
Mama!
It doesn't matter if you were right. He says, why don't they have body cams? That's a violation. Are they required to have body cams? They're federal agents. I don't know if they're required to have body cams, to be honest, on the rise. I just think that whether you're right or wrong, I'd rather be alive than dead. You know, and I've told people this in the past because in the past, I've had the experience of being in the car with somebody who gets pulled over for a speeding ticket, right? And they think they didn't speed, right? You're in the car with a person. They think that they didn't speed. They get pulled over by a cop. They want to argue with the cop about the speeding ticket. Why are you arguing with the cop about the speeding ticket? Just handle it in court. Handle it in court. You're not going to convince this person to change their mind. And in fact, you're going to piss them off and they have the ability to blow your fucking brains out. So if I were you, I would pipe down, take whatever document they're giving you, take the ticket, get a lawyer, and fight it in court. In my entire life, I have never fought with a cop. I've never argued with a cop. I've never talked back to a cop. I've never. If the cop says I was going 1,000 miles per hour and I was going 50 miles per hour, I just nod. Yes, sir. I take my ticket and I keep it moving. And I don't understand the people who think they can fight with an authority figure who has a fucking deadly weapon on them. He says most of them are chill as fuck. They just do their job. He says, fuck around and get chalked. He says also the statistics show 80 plus ICE agents deaths, while about 10 illegals were dead. The left talks about how ICE is killing people. Both sides exaggerate things. Being polite and being cordial goes a long way, because I have gone on speeding fucking rampages and been pulled over, going actually fast. I got pulled over doing 115 miles an hour. I got pulled over doing 125 miles per hour. I got pulled over doing 110, 112. And you know what? Every single time I got pulled over, I was polite with the cop. The cop was polite back. We even joked around. When I had the Porsche, I was going to my parents' house. I was going down the highway. I was doing about 150 miles per hour. I saw some cops on a bridge. They had the radar gun pointing down at the highway. I looked at them. I did like this. I didn't give a fuck. I said, they can't get me because they're on a bridge. There's no down ramp. And I'm going like 150 miles per hour. What the fuck are they going to do? And I flew past them. I did like with my hand. I know they saw me and they probably thought like, who the fuck is this guy? In a convertible going like 150 miles per hour. And I keep driving at the next exit. At the next exit, they already had the cop waiting there for me. And the cop comes out with the motorcycle. He gets behind me. As soon as I saw the cop behind me, even before he turned on his lights, I pulled over.
Help me.
I pulled over before he turned on his lights because I already knew what was coming. I passed the exit. I see the cop come up on the ramp. I'm like, okay, there's only one car on this. First of all, I'm in a fucking supercar, bright yellow. I already know what's going on. So I just pulled over. I pulled over as soon as I saw the cop. He came up behind me. Homie looked at me. He's like, I appreciate you pulling over, not making this hard. And I was like, man, I already knew what was going to happen. And he just laughed. He's like, I could give you about 5, 6 different infractions, but I don't want to do the paperwork. So I'm just going to give you this one ticket exceeding velocity of 50. This is the court date. Peace. That cop could have arrested me, but he didn't arrest me because I was polite and cordial. But there's other people who will do the exact same thing that I did. And instead of pulling over, they'll try to run from the cop. Then they'll get pulled over. Then they'll fight with the cop. They'll argue. They'll talk back. What are you doing? What? That's not how a real a real baller doesn't move like that. Just get a fucking attorney. And you know what's the craziest part about this is, chat? I got a clean license. I got no points on my license. Not even 1 point. Every single time I got a ticket, I just got an attorney, and the attorney made the tickets go away. This isn't, and you know what's crazy? The ticket was for like $1,500, right? I get an attorney. I paid the attorney $200. Done. Gone. I didn't have to pay the $1,500 to the court. I didn't have to pay for anything. I just paid some fucking attorney $200 and it went away. And that was a big ticket. I got a bunch of small tickets. Every time I got a small ticket, I would go to the ticket clinic, pay the $50. Gone. There's no reason to fight.